Alright, this video is going to take you through the multiple choice part of the test because you can only do test corrections on the multiple choice part. What is required of you is that in order to get any points back, first you must watch this video and complete the problems that you got wrong. So don't worry about the ones that you got right, but you're going to redo the ones that you got wrong. What you have to do with the ones you got wrong is you must copy the diagram. Some of these have some paragraphs explaining what the problem is. You don't have to copy that. All I want you to copy is the actual circle or figure. Alright, then once you do that with the video, there is an attached worksheet that has problems similar to the ones that are on the test. For all of the ones that you got wrong, you must do the test corrections, and then you must also do the number that corresponds to that on the extra worksheet. So for example, if on the test you missed numbers 2, 4, and 10, on the attached worksheet you must complete number 2, number 4, and number 10 on your own. Not doing the second part here will result in you not getting any extra credit whatsoever. So you cannot just do the test corrections, you must do the test corrections and then turn in the extra problems completed in order to get any credit. Alright, so let's start taking a look at the problems on this test. Alright, so this first one gives you information. It says that AF is 3, and then it says that AB is 11. And it wants to know what BD is. Alright, well we know that since A is a point outside my circle, AF is a tangent, and then the tangent line AD is going to be congruent to that, so AD will also be 3. Alright, then it says AB, which is the whole thing, is 11, so that means that BD must come from 11 minus 3, and when you do 11 minus 3, you get 8, so the answer to this one is 8. Alright, number 2 asks you to find the measure of angle ABC. Well, angle ABC is right here. Alright, so in order to know what angle ABC is, first I'm going to have to know what arc AC is, because angle ABC is the inscribed angle. Alright, so first I know that AB plus BC is 120 plus 100, which is 220, which means to find arc AC first, I have to do 360 minus 140. I'm sorry. I have to do 360 minus 220. So that means arc AC, the amount that's left over, is 140. So that means that arc AC is 140 degrees. Alright, but I'm not done with that because angle ABC is an inscribed angle. The inscribed angle is half of its intercepted arc. So to find the measure of angle ABC, I have to do 140 divided by 2, which is 70. Alright, J is the point of tangency, and I want you to find X. So if J is the point of tangency, that means there needs to be a right angle here, because if a line is tangent to a circle, the tangent line and the radius are perpendicular to one another. So this right here is a right triangle, so I would use Pythagorean theorem. So I would say a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Well, one of my legs is 15, the other leg is 20, because x is across from my hypotenuse. So 15 squared plus 20 squared equals c squared. 15 squared is 225 plus 20 squared, so plus 400, equals c squared. So 625 equals c squared. So then you take the square root of 625, and when you do the square root of 625, you would get 25 is your answer. Alright, this one. A new playground has a sandfield area for small children. The company that built the play area made the measurements of the play area shown in the figure. If the play area is circular, what should the value of x be? Well, in this one, this is my chord properties. And with my chord properties, we look at from one chord, the part times the part is going to equal the part times the part from the second chord. So if I look here, I have one chord, has the values 3 and 8 on it, so I'm going to say 3 times 8 equals the two parts of your other chord, and my other chord has 6 and x on it. So 3 times 8 equals 6 times x, so 24 equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6, and you get that x is equal to 4. Alright, number 5. A circle for a game spinner is divided into 3 regions as shown. RP is the diameter. What is the area of the shaded sector ROS if RP is equal to 8? Alright, so RP is equal to 8, and it is also a diameter. So that means that angle POS and angle ROS have to add up to 180. So first, to find this degree measure, I would have to do 180 minus 45. And when you do 180 minus 45, you get 135. So that means that this angle right here is 135. And I want the area of this shaded region. So since I'm using area, I'm going to start with my A equals pi r squared formula. Alright, my radius is not 8 though. My diameter is 8, which means that my radius is going to be 4. So my area is equal to pi times 4 squared. So that's the area of the whole circle. To find the sector area, I have to do 4 squared times pi times the central angle, which here is 135 because that's the shaded region, divided by 360. Alright, as you can see, pi is a part of my final answer. So we're just going to multiply everything except for the pi. So first we're going to get 4 squared, which is 16. So we have 16 pi times 135 divided by 360. So in your calculator all at once, you can do 16 times 135 divided by 360, which gives you 6. But don't forget that we didn't multiply out that pi, so your answer would be 6 pi. So it would be B, 6 pi. Alright, number 6. I want the equation of this circle, and it says the increments are going by 1. So like this is -1, -2, -3, and up here 1, 2, 3. So first we're going to find our center point, and our center point is right here, which is the point -3, 3. And then I find my radius by counting out from the center. So here's 1, 2, so my radius is equal to 2. Alright, but when you look at the equation of a circle, what goes with the x and with the y is the opposite of the center point. So since the x here is since the x here is negative, in the equation it must be positive. So I can already eliminate b and I can eliminate d. Alright, so x plus 3 squared is the first part, and since your y value is positive 3, you must have y minus 3. So right now the only thing that I have to look at is what comes at the end. Well, in the equation, it equals r squared. My radius is 2, so I have to do 2 squared, which is 4, which gives me A. Alright, number 7 and 8, we are using this figure right here. Alright, so I want to find the measure of arc BA. Well, here is arc BA. If the central angle is 52, the arc must be the exact same thing. So your answer is going to be 52. Alright, now it says the diameter of the circle is 30 inches. What is the circumference? Alright, so circumference is the formula, 2 pi r. If the diameter is 30, that means that the radius is 15. So that means we have 2 times pi times 15. Well, that gives me 2 times 15, which is 30 pi. And then in your calculator, if you put in there 30 pi, you get 94.2. So it would be 94.2 inches, which was C. Alright, in number 9, it says that AD and BC are chords and they intersect at point E. And I want to know what is the degree measure of CEA. So we're looking for this angle right here. Since these two chords are intersecting inside the circle, you have to add your two arcs. So we have to add arcs AC and BD and then divide by 2. So 87 plus 35 divided by 2 equals the measure of angle CEA. So first 87 plus 32 is 69. So 69 Just kidding, I put that in my calculator incorrectly. Let's go back to the beginning on this one. Alright, so sorry about that. So actually, when you go in here, you still have to add these two arcs together. So you have to do 87 plus 35 divided by 2. And in your calculator, when you do 87 plus 35, you're going to get 122. So you have 122 divided by 2. And 122 divided by 2 is equal to 61. So the measure of angle CEA is 61 degrees. Alright, in number 10, this right here, so we have a quadrilateral that's inscribed in the circle, and it wants to know what's the relationship between opposite angles J and M. They are not congruent to each other. The property of inscribed quadrilaterals is that the opposite angles are supplementary. So here the measure of angle J plus the measure of angle M would have to add up to 180 degrees. Alright, for number 11 and 12, we're looking at this figure. Alright, the first one wants to know what is the value of x. Well, first, x is this inscribed angle. So when you look at this inscribed angle, it came from this angle here that I've just traced over. So this is an inscribed angle, and 45 degrees is the arc that it intercepts. So to find x, you have to do 45 divided by 2. When you do 45 divided by 2, you get 22.5, so x is equal to 22.5. Alright, now I want to go in and I want to find the value for y. So y is an angle that's formed outside of the circle. So you're looking at this angle right here. So when you have an angle that's formed outside of the circle, you have to do the big arc minus the little arc, and then you divide by 2, would equal y. Well, my big arc is 105 minus my little arc, which is 45, and I would take that and divide by 2. And 105 minus 45 is 60. So then I would do 60 divided by 2, and that would give me y. So that means that 30 is equal to y. Alright, for 13 it says find the area of a circle whose diameter has a length of 10. Alright, so if my diameter is 10, I must use the area formula, which is pi r squared. So if the diameter is 10, that means that the radius is 5. So we have pi times 5 squared. 5 squared is 25, so we're looking at 25 pi. And when I put in 25 pi, I'm going to get 78.5. So the area of the circle is 78.5. Alright, 13. It says an arc of a circle measures 120 degrees with the circle's radius having a length of 12. Find the length. Alright, when you find the length of an arc, you must do 2 pi r times the central angle divided by 360. Alright, what you have to remember though is by using this, the central angle and the arc measure are the same thing. Alright, so my radius is 12, so we're going to say 2 times pi times 12 times the central angle, which is 120, divided by 360. So that gives you 24 pi times 120 divided by 360. And you can put all of that in your calculator at one time. So you can type in 24 pi times 120 divided by 360. And you get 25.1. So the length is going to be 25.1. Alright, number 15, we're going to solve for x. So first you're looking at, this is an angle that's formed outside of the circle. So you have to do the big arc, which is 100, minus the little arc, which is x, divide by 2 equals 15. So first we're going to multiply by 2 on both sides. So 100 minus x equals 30. Now we're going to subtract by 100 on both sides. So negative x equals negative 70. But since both of these are negative, that means that x is equal to a positive 70. Alright, for 15, you have a tangent line, and then you have a secant. With the tangent line, you're doing the tangent line squared when you put it in your formula. When you have the secant, you have to know the outside, and you have to know the whole thing. The outside is what's out of the circle, which is 5. The whole thing is all of this, so it's not just 5 and it's not just x, but it is 5 plus x. So now when we set up our equation, we say the tangent squared is equal to the outside times the whole thing. So 10 squared equals 5 times 5 plus x. So on the left side we have 100. Then on the right side you make sure you distribute that 5 and you get 25 plus 5x. So subtract 25 on both sides. And 100 minus 25 is 75. So we get 75 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5. And x equals 15. Alright, then on number 17, again, this time we have two secants. And anytime you use secants, you have to have the outside and the whole thing. So for secant 1, we have the outside is 8. And then we have that the whole thing is all of this, which is 8 plus x. For secant 2, we have that the outside is 7. And then we have that the whole thing is all of this, which is 7 plus 9, which equals 16. So when we do secant 1, we do the outside times the whole thing. Set it equal to secant 2, the outside times the whole thing. So on the left side, we're going to distribute that 8, and we get 64 plus 8x equals, on the right side, we've got 7 times 16. And 7 times 16 is 112. So now we're going to subtract 64 on both sides. So you get 8x is equal to 48. Then you're going to divide both sides by 8. And you get x is equal to 6. Now for all of the ones that you did wrong, again, you need to complete the ones that correspond to that on the extra worksheet on your own, and this must be turned in next class period or I will not accept it.